Let's be honest here. I'm not okay. In my opinion, 21-year-olds shouldn't be going to the cinema alone and counting the walk over to that cinema as their fresh air for the day. 21-year-olds shouldn't be making a habit of falling asleep at 2 AM and waking up at 11 AM. 21-year-olds shouldn't have a diet of only food and drink that leaves a good taste in their mouth, such as fizzy drinks, sweets and chocolate. But what do I know? I'm just a 21-year-old who doesn't hold wisdom over what my age group should be doing. A lot has changed since I posted the first episode of A Lost Idea. The person who made that video is not who I am today, it being a year later. The quickies of updates. I'm overweight, I have no money, I feel like I'm behind on everything, and I'm often sad. A longer update is following shortly. This series got quickly left behind with everything that happened this year. Not on purpose, but it happened, and whatever this series was before, it never truly documented a story. It was realistic in how us as humans are not simply a 3-act structure, but it wasn't interesting enough to continue making, or particularly able to say what happened to me, without stepping on several toes, that is. However, I did love my original pitch of this series in the first 002. I'll let that Jasmine explain for me later in this video. For now, the problem. The problem is, there's multiple. For one, I've gained some weight. A small amount that untruthful acquaintances can play nice and gesture towards my body claiming it's nothing. Enough to keep my mind hindered on it, but only coming to a close tearing point a couple of weeks ago. I'm currently tiptoeing the fine line of healthy or overweight, having clothes or nothing to wear, and acknowledging my lack of control or putting my head under the sand, which hasn't happened since I was 11. And I don't like being back here. Second, I've become the stereotype of that student, the very thing I turned my nose up at and cried that I'd never become. First year Jasmine had no idea. I've become known to myself as the student who uses the full amount of their overdraft on crap. My crap being fast food and books. Even in being in debt, I'm still uncool. Third, being a second year means more work, more expectations, more feeling behind, lacking behind, more using the time outside of class to breathe instead of focus on new projects for a career I want. Nothing has changed from before. Finally, life still sort of sucks. Accepting you're going to change is one step. Hoping others will is jumping onto another path so they crash their metaphorical car in a metaphorical tree or you get run over. You can't force others like you can force yourself. Most don't change. Not for you, anyway. I'm not Simon from Love Simon, or like Georgia from Angus, Thongs and Perfect Snogging, but I'm also not a Hollywood character that can be defined by the one obstacle or trait that they have to overcome. I feel there is so much to overcome and to strip away and to redo, and I need to get started before officially I'm out in the big wide world and have another wave go over me. This is my last breath before the next wave goes over. So now I want to rebrand this series to be a documentation of my reinvention, a Lost Idea 2.0 if you will. The description of this series will remain exactly the same, as past Jasmine will kindly explain in a second, but each episode having a focus on a certain part of my life than whenever or whatever inspiration strikes. Basically, filmmakers or theatre companies are turning classic literature into modern adaptations on YouTube now, making the main character vlog and share their life in their fictional world. But mine will be different. Mine is set in reality. I hope and know this will be a new beginning for me. It can't not be. I can't continue how I've been, and now my only option is to challenge myself to stop my bad habits. To stop before I truly have to step into the quote, real world, end quote, before these habits become real problems. When writing out my reinvention plan, I knew that me admitting all my faults was a good first step. The second and so on steps were having the passion to start writing out the plan, the time to focus on it, and being in the right mental state to analyse myself on it. However, before I began, I wanted to write something to commend where I was, and what opportunity is better than on your 21st birthday. This is a letter to 25-year-old me. Dear me, I hope by the time you read this that you're happy or further ahead in being so. I won't put further expectations on your shoulder of the career we both dream of or of having someone to call yours, but if you do, I congratulate you. You have the biggest storytelling brain and biggest heart for romance that I know. I hope it's serving you well. Currently, I have just turned 21 years old and I'm feeling strange. In a country I've never set foot in, I can drink substances that I don't want to. Cool? Mumble mumble, private things, mumble mumble. I hope where you are, there's less of that and more love and magic in every branch of your life. Recently, I had a breakdown over the slow loss of magic in my life. I fear the fairy tales and love for life that I had is quickly fading into being mundane. I never want to lose magic, and I'm desperately holding on to it. Please tell me you haven't lost that want or magic entirely. Don't know what would break my heart more. This world is beautiful, and we see so much of its beauty every day. It's why we love telling stories and showing the beauty to others. We might seem light years and eons of character development away from one another, but we are the same distance of when I was 16, those blurred memories just off the horizon. I hope when you think back, you can just about see me becoming you. Sincerely yours, your younger self. So, that's my story so far. Welcome back to A Lost Idea. Let's try this again. Till next time.